it on?
Yes.
Okay.
It is very well recording and is very fine.
You better leave that in.
Hey,
All
it's-
of this is better at the end.
I'm leaving all this in, probably.
Yeah.
Alright, start us off, Jacob.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Central Movie Geeks podcast. I'm Jacob, also known as EggsBenedict54 on YouTube.
Oh, and I'm David, youth pastor,
And I'm redacted.
also known as Jackson Langlitz.
I am the brother Nate, and you already know the last name.
Brother Nate, last name already spoken. Welcome to Central Movie Geeks podcast, where we talk about all things movies and theology and whatever else comes up.
This is the first take. We are proud of this, and we have no regrets. I'm just saying that.
You're speaking for yourself.
Shamelessness is fun.
Even if I do have to edit all this out, it's perfectly fine.
Totally good, totally good.
Now, today we are talking about the anthology and... How did I already mess up the concept? Or the
doing
topic. The theology of Thanos.
Nice.
Alright.
Jacob, so I've seen the movies.
Uh-huh. That's all me too.
But that's and same for Jackson, same for Nate. But we have kind of a shallow understanding of Thanos. Can you tell us about Thanos' story? Dive into that for us.
That's perfectly understandable, my friend. I know
Thanks.
I know a lot about the comics, and I know a lot about the Marvel universe and timeline as a whole. I also just want to say I find it ironic that, Nate, you are wearing a Batman shirt, I'm wearing a Spider-Man shirt.
Yeah. Technically in the same, but not universe.
It's perfectly fine. Alright, now, we're going to start. I want to say we'll start this off with me telling us about Thanos' story. I must warn everyone, it's not a happy one. There's a lot of death involved. We'll talk about that.
We'll learn about
And
this.
there's a lot of other things involved with that. So, yes.
Story time with Eggs Benedict.
Can't wait to learn about
Need to
the
make that a
break.
side content.
Yeah.
Side note, make that a side content. Content. Alright. Now, anyways, let us begin. Before I tell the story of Thanos, I need to illustrate one thing. There were three beings that started off in the Marvel Universe. The first were the mutants that spawned the X-Men, and we all know how that turned out. The second were the Eternals, and we all know how that turned out.
Worst one of the movies.
Again, no offense to anyone who likes them, but I'm passive aggressive on them. I'm just saying that. I'm just saying that much.
If you state passive aggressiveness, is it passive aggressive?
Good point. Good point.
New topic for next month's episode, but whatever. Alright, anyways. The third were the deviants. Creatures and
What?
beings bent on destruction, mayhem, and just overall
You
chaos.
saw them in that one movie that we don't talk about.
Yeah.
Oh, Immortals?
No, that was the thing before this.
Oh, got it.
It's fine, man.
We don't talk about
Aren't Deviants in the
We don't
Immortals
talk about
movie?
Internals.
Oh, what did I
Eternal.
say? What's
We
Immortals?
said immortal.
You said immortals.
Yes, they're
Like
same
the
thing,
being,
right?
like the
Totally.
being- like the beings that can't die.
Eternal, immortal, whatever.
It's fine.
Okay, continue.
It's cool. It's
So
cool.
both
It's
for a
cool.
long time.
It's fine, man. It's cool.
Okay, thanks.
Anyways, I say those because those three will most likely come into contact with the Marvel timeline with a bunch of the shows that Marvel has set up, and more importantly, deviants relate to Thanos' story.
Aren't they dead now?
Kinda, yeah.
I don't remember.
Kinda?
All
I don't
is that-
remember either. It's been quite a while, but
Oh, I hate it.
it's fine. Anyways, so this is where Thanos' story starts. We begin on Titan, one of Saturn's moons. And Thanos' journey starts off rough just from the get-go. Immediately after Thanos is born, he had a deviant mutation in the womb, which caused him to have purple skin the moment he was born.
Great.
That's how he became great.
Yes, that's why everyone compares him to that.
Wrinkly
Wow.
gray.
No.
Wait.
And also,
of all the
yeah.
things that could have happened, being purple is pretty okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It also didn't help that the fact that when his mother held him for the first time, she immediately saw the face of death and was like, I
Moana
feel
style.
compelled to kill this person.
Whoa.
No joke right there. That is legit what happened.
It's just Moana style, throw him into the ocean.
I don't want you.
Anyways, Thanos' mother is placed in an insane asylum for trying to kill her son, and surprisingly, Thanos grows up to be a good student. His father cares for him, he has a lot of loyal and dedicated friends, and he's actually really smart.
Yeah.
Wow.
There you go.
That was
Thanos.
rough. He's so
Wait,
far
am I
off.
envying Thanos?
Thanos,
great.
the envy of all. Okay. Great
No,
student.
no, you don't
lots of
understand. Thanos
friends.
is the MVP. We gotta respect
Okay,
him.
okay, keep going. So Thanos
Right.
is doing well.
Yeah. And then he throws it all away for a girl, essentially.
Oh my goodness.
See,
Thanos, I
boys,
thought
this
yours.
is why you don't have high school or middle school relationships. This is what they do to you.
Yeah.
Yes. You turn into
Anyways.
a mass genocide, man.
Anyways, Thanos meets with this girl, and she basically encourages him to make a lot of really bad decisions.
As it
Classic,
does.
classic storyline.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like taking his friends to a cave full of lizard people, and then after the lizards eat all of his friends, he kills the lizards.
Wow.
So, yeah.
He's an
That purple
Avenger.
skin really
He
comes in
avenged-
handy.
I avenge them after I kill them. Yes.
Yes.
Anyways,
Soldiers.
yeah. Further down the line, Thanos discovers that while dissecting animals, he can't find meaning. And later tries to establish a relationship with the girl, saying that he hopes he can
Again.
find something with love.
Wait, the same girl or new girl?
The same girl.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wow, that went so well.
So
last
demon
time.
girl. Yes.
We'll get to that.
Oh wait, what?
Okay, look. Okay, but then she's just like, nah, man. We could probably do that, but only if you kill people. And he's like, okay.
Oh,
So, because Thanos throws his life away for her, he starts killing people. And he kind of enjoys it, but he doesn't want to. Anyways, as Thanos grows up, so too does his lust for blood. And because he feels like an unhealthy obsession with this, he goes to the insane asylum where his mother is and tries to interrogate her to try and figure out why his genetics made him such a bad person. But he ultimately doesn't find anything, so kind of kills her.
kind of. Wait, does he like kind of kill her? Like,
No, it's just
It's only mostly dead.
yeah. He's only mostly dead. There's a difference. I love Princess Bride. Anyways, afterwards, Thanos runs away and joins a group of space pirates to try and figure out more of his life purpose.
Space pirates.
screw you.
And of course, after that, things start to hit more of a downward spiral for him.
He finds another woman.
No.
Again.
No, I don't remember what happens. But, like, okay, so after that, Thanos has this whole confrontation with the captain, who's mad at him because he refuses to kill anybody.
I thought that was the whole.
Wait, so
Wait,
Thanos,
Thanos
gets
refuses
like
to
a
kill anybody?
Yeah, because he's hit kind of like this moral block in his path with his struggle. Because he's back and forth between it. Because, like I said, he doesn't want to enjoy it.
He dislikes the fact that he enjoys it, so he tries to avoid it.
Yeah, but
That's
something
a
just
complex
compels him to
character.
keep doing it.
Yeah.
Man, that must suck. If that happened with Doritos, that would suck. Oh.
Yeah. But anyways, the point is they get into a fight. They both have moral clashes, and Thanos just ultimately kills the captain, making
That was-
himself the captain.
That was kind of ironic.
Yeah.
How ironic.
Anyways, now that he's captain, Thanos does essentially what we see him do in the movies, where he leaves behind a lot of people, he starts destroying stuff, and I think this is where Gamora and Nebula come into the timeline, where he takes care of them or something, like starts growing attraction and like taking them as daughters.
But didn't they come in at different points because Gamora is technically the older or younger sister?
I think she's the older one because he found her first.
He found
and he later
her,
found
and then
Nebula.
he found Nebula, and then made her stronger by
Yeah.
chucking a bunch of robot
So-
crap on it.
When in the movies it shows the flashbacks of like Gamora, like her like home planet. Was he doing the like I'm gonna kill half the planet because of overpopulation thing at that point?
I think
I
he was
imagine
just,
that's
like,
where it was, because that's the status that he has
When does
at
his
this point.
planet go? So does he just straight off the bat start killing half the people, or does it only happen after his planet died because of that very reason?
Oh yeah, 'cause he talks about it.
Kind of, yeah.
Has his planet died yet? This where we're talking about the
No.
space pirates yet?
We're getting to that.
Okay.
Wait, did he kill the captain before Yondu?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, after Thanos becomes the captain, he later goes back to Titan, and I believe it's Titan, and he reunites with the girl. He then states with her that she's the only one that he's really found attraction for. Even though he's been like all over like all of the universe and is like, I've seen a lot of women and I've left behind so many of them and I've probably destroyed some of their planets. But you're the only one I really care about.
That's like a Hallmark movie
Wow.
right there.
Yeah. What a beautiful love story, right there.
Marvel Mug movie.
Then,
Hallmark.
Hallmark.
anyways,
Coming out just
yeah.
July 11th.
I would watch that.
The love story between two titans.
Oh, that's great.
Okay.
This is one of our side
Off
projects.
topic.
It's fine. It's fine. I get it. This is great, though. This is great.
Oh boy.
Anyways, after that, she's pretty much just like, okay, maybe you and I could become a thing, but only if you kill as many people as possible,
Wow.
because I am the physical manifestation of death itself.
Oh, whoops.
Doesn't he meet Deadpool at this
twist.
point?
No, that's later down the line. But eventually, Thanos is like, okay, I guess I have to do that now. So Thanos and the space pirates pretty much just carve a swarm of death and destruction across a bunch of planets and a bunch of systems, and he eventually just destroys Titan, where he grew up.
Oh, he destroys Titan?
He
Yeah.
destroyed Titan.
Man, the movies
So-
are a lot different.
So in the
Yeah,
movies,
exactly.
when he talks about like his philosophy, like that's not canon?
Well, some of it is, because I imagine they would have taken inspiration from what was in the
They always
comics.
take inspiration.
Yeah, they
never
they
wanna
kind of have
replicate
to.
it. They want
in
to
order
replicate it because it's just
Yeah.
put it-
boring.
yeah.
You can't write a movie if it's just a book.
Yeah.
Well, kind of.
Yeah. Look, we don't talk about Stephen King's Dark Tower, okay?
No.
Yeah, we don't talk about that.
It's Stephen King, so it must be spooky.
Spooky, scary.
And it's not October yet. That's the song.
We gotta save that for October. Anyways, so then it kind of gets complicated with what the comics say, because Thanos is like, okay, I've killed everyone, can we start dating or something?
Oh, boy.
And then she's just like, well, it's probably most likely that I'm a manifestation of the perfect girl for you, and there's 60 years of comics to fill at the time, so this is gonna take a long time to explain.
Oh, boy.
But then this is where you come in with Deadpool, because there's a storyline where apparently Death is into Deadpool, but Deadpool has to die in order to be with her, and he can't do that. And after Thanos puts like this curse on him, not being able to, it's like really hard for him.
So
But then
wait.
he later takes the curse back because he really wants to kill Deadpool.
So he
Can't
so he
not
keeps
kill
him from
him.
dying, so that he cannot be with the girl that he likes.
Yeah.
And then he's like, oh wait, crap! Now I can't murder Deadpool in anger. Dang it!
And then it creates a vicious cycle, yes. Yeah.
I want to murder you, but I can't murder you because then you get my girlfriend.
It's complicated.
Love or anger? Who shall
I'm
we?
keeping the Facebook status on to it's complicated.
Oh, boy.
Because that's the only way we can describe it. But essentially, that's all of Thanos' journey. Well, just a bunch of
A lot of death.
a lot of death, a lot of
Murder.
confusion, a lot of mental struggle, and
Space
just
pirates.
problems.
A lot of those. That was pretty cool.
And the real problems were the space pirates and the death that we caused and had along the way.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's a lot different than the movies.
Yes.
So yeah, in the movies he seems kind of more philosophically driven, like
Not more of an insane degree, I want to say. Yeah.
Yeah. It's more of a he saw what happened to his planet and he doesn't want. He thinks that will happen to everywhere if he doesn't do what he wanted to do in the first place.
Yeah.
Right.
Because in the comics, is it true that does he talk about in the movies how like Thanos like
He tried to
flourishes? Oh no, they didn't listen.
They didn't listen to him, and so
Yeah.
that's why his planet's a total wreck.
Right.
No, but
But
I
you're saying
thought
like other planets he's done it to, they're not like flourishing, or like he gives some example of where it like
I think he
worked.
does.
I thought that like in the movie he only ever really mentions that like I warned my planet that it was like there was a problem and they didn't listen to me, and so eventually that problem took over, and he never actually says that that's what killed the planet. So what if it's
He
just he
mentioned
saw
that
that and he was like, I just have to end it.
He mentioned that he had a solution and they thought he was crazy for it.
Yeah.
For that solution. And so his whole planet died anyway. So
Yeah. Plus, he did ultimately accomplish his goal.
and then died.
Yeah.
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 So
Yeah, that's my main. That's why I don't like Endgame nearly as much as Infinity War, because that Thanos is driven by. He's less driven by his philosophy and more of just like he
just-
mentions how
he's
he's gonna
ticked off.
enjoy it, which is like that's not something that the Thanos in Infinity War would say.
Yeah.
yeah, no, that's a good point.
Yeah, because
it's-
like they set that up to be like the whole thing, but then they kill him in the beginning of Endgame, and then
They
they're
killed
just
the
like,
Thanos. Someone was
Yeah.
properly written.
yeah,
And then they just throw him in, and he's like, "Oh yeah, he's gonna be different because he's younger and dumber."
yeah,
And
and thus it doesn't count because time travel.
I still don't like their time travel. I think
Yeah.
Back to the Future Supreme.
Yeah.
Better. I don't know.
But I think like you talking about how he was like he found out he enjoys killing people, but he didn't like that about himself. Like it's almost like in Infinity War, it's like he's philosophically driven, but then in game he's like just gives in to be like, no, I'm gonna like this. And
Yeah.
doesn't he talk about like his new plan is to just
Destroy-
start totally anew?
completely over.
Yeah, he's like,
Because
I'm just gonna destroy everything rather than
Because he
half.
finally
Yeah.
figures out that if the other half knows of the other half's
Oh,
existence,
right. Yeah.
then they will never be able to live with themselves.
Yeah.
So if
Right,
it
so
just
start
starts a whole
anew.
new one where they have no idea there was a whole
Yeah.
other universe, they
But-
don't care.
Why can't he just like half the universe, but then make it so that everyone who disappeared was immediately forgotten? Like we've already seen
Oh.
in Marvel, but that they can do that to entire galaxies.
Right.
Yeah, who knows?
And he has the Infinity Stones. Doctor Strange had one.
Yeah.
Who knows?
That's a good point. That would have been smarter.
Just cut
I
it
mean,
in half.
He did just give in. He was
Make
just like,
everyone
you know what? I
forget
can either
the
do that or just kill everyone. Like,
Yeah.
that a lot.
And so maybe, yeah, he was more blinded by, I'm just ticked off by you all.
I just hate you. You can't do anything right.
Yeah.
I gave you a chance.
You
So-
failed me,
Oh, was it the
therefore I
deviant-
will fix
Was it
things.
the deviant thing that did all the chin stuff? Man, his chin.
Yeah.
It's so weird. It's so
Wrinkly
like,
chin
It's like
grape.
manly or something. It's just like a huge. I don't even know what.
Yeah.
Wait, he's Buzz Lightyear.
You just
thick
have
chin.
Buzz Lightyear.
looks-
You never noticed Buzz Lightyear's chin is it's massive.
I always
Thanos is
noticed
like-
it, like not as a kid, but now when I rewatch it, I'm like, oh yeah, his chin is massive.
It's like
I
way
don't
in
know why.
front of his
It's like
face.
it's like a bean almost.
Every time I looked at it, I thought he could just like open like a can of beer or something like a
Yeah.
just something with his chin. It's so huge.
Nah, just like he uses it to grate cheese.
Hey.
Just side to side.
Hey, you need a cheese grater? They pull out Thanos' head and just.
Oh.
So,
No, it's just like, hey, bro, I'm making some nachos tonight. Can you come over?
so I think it's interesting, like, in the shows after Endgame, there's, like, I forget which one it is. Maybe it's Falcon, Winter Soldier. I don't know, but, like, people... I
Are
remember one of the
displaced.
people saying, like Thanos was... I remember Thanos was right.
Yeah,
or
I think it
something,
was that
right?
movie actually. Like some people were protesting that he was right, which was just weird.
Yeah.
It felt very out of nowhere. It was like,
But it was like
Which one was that in
people-
again? Winter Soldier?
I think
I think
that's-
it was in the Falcon one.
Yeah, I was gonna say, 'cause-
because it's like it was that whole movement who like once the people come back, like are brought back,
It's a whole mess.
Yeah, it's like chaotic, and then some people are like, you know what, like basically Thanos was right for those who left behind. Like there was more room
Wait.
for people.
What if?
That's an episode.
Yeah.
In Mar-
Yeah.
what if in
Let's go,
in the
okay,
Marvel
joke.
universe? Okay, I'm gonna get into some sensitive area, but what if 9/11 wasn't a terrorist attack? It was the pilots disappearing from the snap, so they all ended up running into areas.
I doubt that's true.
I doubt that they're gonna make that a thing.
Oh yeah, it's not. It's definitely not. They're gonna be like 9/11 was because of the snap.
I think
No, they're not gonna call it out. But what if?
I think Marvel's just gonna stick to Loki being that J.B.K. Cooper guy who just mysteriously disappeared with a buttload of money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they're gonna have the whole other thing with all the other timelines and stuff intercoursing. I cannot wait for Loki 2.
Yes.
Have you guys seen the new Doctor Strange?
I need to.
Oh my goodness!
It came
was
out on.
so refreshing.
I'm halfway through
Okay.
it, so don't get like I watched.
Okay,
half
I've
of it
not
last
seen.
night.
I've not seen any of it. I know
Wait,
a
is that
little
Disney
bit of the
Plus?
spoilers, but I'm
What?
going to
Is
watch
that
it.
Disney Plus?
It came out last night.
It came out last night on Disney
I can
Plus.
watch it again.
Yeah,
You
it
can
came
watch
out
it
last
again.
night on Disney Plus.
I watched half of it while doing dishes last night.
It's so refreshing.
Good for you.
Plan to watch the other half.
I want to watch it on my own, but I'm one of those people who just sits
I
down
really
with my
wanted to
parents
talk
because
about
we
it.
all enjoy it, and
Yeah.
my mom more specifically, and she's like, "We're watching it together," and I'm like, "I don't want to."
You
I
gotta
want to
wait.
watch it on my own and then just watch your reaction. I'm sorry.
It's so different, which I like because it's refreshing to.
Because
You know, we've had.
I've
like,
heard this is a
action movie
refresher.
after action movie after action movie, and this one's like scary action. It's like
That's
definitely-
what I enjoy to watch sometimes.
Outside of
It's still-
spoilers, they do kind of add a horror aspect because there were like a few jump scares and
That's good though, because
Some
like
bad-
Yeah,
they're
it's
they're changing the style. They're going with their own creative originality.
there
I
is
will admit,
one death
Something
that I
that
don't
DC could
understand.
never do in the first half.
let's see, who was it that directed the Spider-Man movies that did this one?
I think.
What was his name?
I want to say
What?
Sam Raimi.
Yes, Sam Raimi.
Yeah.
One problem I do have.
What did you say?
I said Pickle Man
Why
because
you
of
Pickle man.
Doctor Strange's actor.
Oh, cucumber batch.
Oh yeah.
I always call
pickle.
cucumber.
It's a cucumber.
You know, one time someone compared my username to Benedict Cumberbatch,
Oh boy.
No.
and I was just like,
Eggs
thank-
Benedict Cumberbatch.
I'm like, thank you, thank you.
One thing I will say about the new Doctor Strange is that it says it's directed by Sam Raimi, but let's be honest, it's not really. It's just like they would go through it, making it themselves, and then at some points it's like, oh, you can direct this. It's just like it didn't feel like he actually directed the whole thing, just random parts.
My question is it like a Justice League thing where they had Zack Snyder first, and then he had to step away because of a family tragedy,
No,
and then
Sam
Sam
Raimi
Raimi came in and then like messed up the whole thing?
No, it's not like that.
So like, it's not bad. The movie's not bad at all.
Talk louder, I can
Okay.
barely hear.
It's the movie itself is not bad. It has its problems, and what I'm trying to say is that the whole there are random parts that feel different than the rest of the movie. That feels like that's something that Sam Raimi would do. But then there are other regular generic Marvel stuff. That's what I'm saying. It's not. It didn't feel like they let him do what he wanted to do.
Right.
Zack
They kinda
Snyder's just a
constricted
whole,
his greatness.
mess of family problems and a different director for the whole thing, and
But a great one.
Okay, so it's like
They wanted it
No
to
Way
not-
Home or something, where they have like half of it is fan service and half of it is just your standard Marvel film.
Nah,
or something.
I mean there is fan service.
Yeah, there was a lot of fan service in that.
I don't like it.
Wait, is that the new Spider-Man?
Yeah.
But, I love the new Spider-Man. I think
Yeah.
it was the
No Way
perfect-
Home. That's the second one, right?
No, No Way Home is
third
the
one.
last. Is the third
Wait,
one.
which one's? Oh, Far
From
Far, far away.
Okay, Helena,
Spider-Man, far, far
Oh,
away.
whatever.
Shrek.
Yeah.
Wait.
I love the last one.
We got
Shrek appears.
Honestly, it's so good.
He gets spider powers.
Usually, when a movie, it seemed like all it was going to be was fan service, which I would have liked.
Yeah,
But there's
if they did it right though, because I feel
they
like
did do it right.
Yeah.
An
I'm so
entire
happy.
fan
yeah, I am
service.
so happy for it as well. Because if they did shameless fan service, like, oh, this happened, you're welcome.
We'll just throw
Like-
all the villains and make them do
What
this
if-
stuff.
Yeah, like
What if they just let fan service just make an entire movie and then chucked it out there and was like, how do you think of this? The fans did it, not us. That's
that
sick.
actually is kind of a show they did at one point.
Uh-huh.
Well, not
What if?
not Marvel, but like, okay, there's a show that I know of. I don't watch it because I know it's stupid, but I know it's just fan service and nothing else. Like they had one or two good seasons, and then they're like, how do we keep the fans interested? Fan service everywhere, and then
Everything.
they're like, okay, and then they just throw all that stuff in. And now they're not even like probably sticking to the plot. They're just doing all this fan service for people, and it's stupid.
So, like, what if we just, like, didn't even care about the plot and just let the fans do whatever the crap they wanted? Just let anyone do whatever they wanted just to chuck it on a screen.
I think we're losing our way. We're supposed to be talking about Thanos.
Yeah,
Now
I
we're
know.
talking
And
about
so
movies.
back to Thanos. Back to Thanos.
I'm just
Back
saying.
to the great
My,
man.
my question
Baby boy.
Is he right?
is Thanos right?
Okay, here's the thing. Whenever someone says that was their argument, I always find it really stupid. Okay, here's the thing. It's honestly, with any argument, I feel like it's half and half. Because there's a half of it, there's like two parts of it that if you explore equally with certain parts, you'll find you can agree with like either or, I want to say.
Like, the thing is, he's like, he did something horrible. He killed half the universe. But the thing is, I feel like if you think about it, he had good intentions. He wanted to save everyone, but he found that for him, the only way he could find to do that was to commit mass genocide across half the entire universe.
Plus, maybe he felt like if he did use the Infinity Stones, he's not really killing them. He's just basically doing whatever the crap that happened.
You disappear.
Just yeah.
I mean,
From
they're
Dusty
able to be
F
brought
came-
back, so they're not
Dusty
really
F come
dead.
to
yet.
Dusty.
Plus, he went so far as to like make sure no one else could like undo what he did and have the same powers he had because he knew the risks he was taking, and thus that's why he destroyed them in Endgame, and why they couldn't get them in the first place.
Wait, I
So,
wonder
yeah,
when
and-
he destroyed them. Like, did he teleport and then immediately destroy them, or did he like
I think
sit
he
there
waited until
thinking
he
for a
gained-
while,
He
just
probably
like
did
thinking?
It was later. Yeah.
It was in the film. He stated that he
Rocket
reduced
did.
them to atoms, like the Infinity Stones, so that no one else could use them.
If I remember
But yeah,
correctly,
he did it-
He didn't do it right after
Yeah,
because
'cause-
Rocket says
Yeah.
like
They-
3 weeks later or something.
Yeah.
This happened.
Yeah,
So
because he would have had to like
So he had
had
some
some
time
time
to
to
think about it.
contemplate.
Yeah.
Yeah, he probably would have had some time to contemplate about his like actions and
So
what he did.
at least in the film, like he was committed to what he thought in his mind was the best for the universe, which because like it wasn't just for power, or else he would have just kept the stones, but he tried to destroy them because he was like, this is what's
Yeah,
missing.
at heart he was trying to help the universe.
Yeah.
Also, kind of side topic, how was he able to make a normal snapping sound with a metal glove on?
Titan.
That doesn't mean anything.
I don't know. He
No matter
can
how strong you are, snapping with a
They-
metal
the
glove
giant
on
purple
doesn't
man
make
with a
this
chin
sound.
of
Yeah.
iron. You can do a lot of things.
They
Probably
even
like a
fixed
snapping
it when they
noise
did
with a
Iron
chin.
Man, when they had Iron Man do it. When he snapped, it was metal
Yeah.
hitting each other. But when Thanos did it, nope, it's flesh.
They
it is
even-
a flesh gauntlet.
Well, yeah,
Boom.
Well, they also-
he can do what he. If
Well, they
you
also-
can destroy the universe with the snap,
I mean-
you can manufacture this organic.
I mean,
snap.
okay, look.
Why
That's
though?
what
They also okay
It's
in
for the theater
Endgame
drama.
when he
Yeah,
picked it up
sure.
finally he said the line and there was a metal snap, so I can't speak today. They compensated for that. Like
Confin?
Yeah, I can't
Confin?
talk today.
No, I know. You're
English.
They
Words,
they-
mouth.
Compensated.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that word. They did that, and then they did the same thing with Iron Man. So they fixed their mistake.
Okay. Okay. So
Essentially.
question. If so, let's say so you can argue that okay, Thanos was just wrong. Like, that wasn't what was best for the universe. But let's say if we knew in retrospect that it was better for the remaining half, like life was improved. Let's just say in theory, if we could say that. Was Thanos right in doing it?
I think it was less so if he thought it would be better and they wouldn't all die. Which maybe is just probably better. But
You mean, like,
it's not like a quality of life, you know?
it was more
less poverty,
extinction.
all that stuff. It's more of a, because like that's what happened to his planet. They
Right.
all died.
So he's looking at, if I don't,
If I don't kill
I'm your
half of them,
savior,
they
right?
all die.
Yeah, I'm gonna do what no one else is willing to. I'm gonna do the hard thing.
He
that's
says that. He
ultimately
says
better,
like,
right?
I have the. Not everybody or something has the will to do it, or something.
Yeah, right.
I don't remember that scene.
Yeah. So
I get what you're saying, yeah.
So do you think? So essentially, it's do the ends justify the means? That's the question, right?
I mean,
Like, if the end result is better, do you do whatever it takes to get there? Is that okay?
First of all, that'd make a really good what if episode. And second, I personally, like I said, it could go halfway. Like, you could see it as a bad thing that a lot of people that like loved each other and cared and respected each other were just gone. And then again, you could also think about how he like how this benefited, kind of, if like we take into account what you said about like the world just accepting it for what it is and then moving along with it and trying to work with this new reality that may not get fixed.
So, because I feel like the heroes versus the villains in Marvel, it's like for Thanos, it's like the end result, which is, you know, survival of the universe and better life, versus the means, which is I gotta kill half the universe to make this happen. He says the end's worth it. Then I feel like sometimes the heroes are like, yeah, we gotta do whatever it takes to like defeat the bad people. But other times they say, okay, we gotta do it, like the ends have to match the means. Like, you gotta like do it in a just way, or
Yeah.
like
I get-
so like, I don't know.
I get what you're saying there, but the thing is, if you kind of think about it, every villain, in a sense, is like the hero of their own story. Like that's how some people choose.
Perspective.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's how some people choose to view it, and I especially do.
Well, not every villain. Some villains know they're evil.
Yeah, like
Someone's like,
Probably
yeah,
that
I just
Malekith
enjoy
guy.
it.
yeah,
That Malekith guy
they're
was
just
totally
they're
evil
they're the
and evil.
fun. Those are the fun villains where they're like, hey, I'm evil, but I like being evil. Like,
It's like the
let me
Joker.
be who I am, dude.
Like
Well-
the Joker acknowledges all his evil, but he just like doesn't really care. Or that
Then
one,
again,
sorry
that's
to-
for an entire another episode. Like,
Oh.
I could talk for hours about how Joker was kind of like he wasn't a bad guy.
Yeah.
But back to Thanos.
yes. Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, he's the hero in his story.
Yeah, because he believes he's solving the problem that is happening that no one else can. He's going the extra mile. He's doing the thing that no one else will.
But I feel like just because it's his perspective doesn't mean it's reality.
in his perspective.
In his perspective, he's the hero.
I mean,
Or at least he's doing a heroic action. I don't know if he would even see
I
himself
think
as.
I would, knowing Thanos' character,
I would think he would see himself as someone who
a necessary
had,
evil.
yeah, kind of in a way,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
like kind of an anti-hero.
well,
Yeah.
he
Yeah.
almost has.
Maybe.
Like,
He
Maybe.
kills people, but only for the greater good. Except he doesn't kill bad people like someone like Deadpool or like Batman. Even though Batman technically doesn't kill. He does though. He just doesn't
And alternate
notice it.
timelines. And alternate timelines and different.
What? Yeah.
We don't talk
Spontaneous.
about other timelines though.
We do.
This is base
I do.
timeline. This
I
is
do because I'm
616,
I'm
bro.
weird.
I am very happy though that in the movies they showed us his planet being destroyed because I feel like if they didn't, we wouldn't feel like this hasn't happened, so why should we worry about it?
Yeah.
But seeing it happen to a whole like people is scary. I mean, imagine in our life, I don't know, like Australia or something, just all of them died to, I don't know, something.
COVID.
And somebody else was, sure, they all died
Let's
of
not
COVID.
make jokes about that.
And there was just Thanos. We have our own Thanos. It's like, we need to worry about it. We're just like,
Dead.
well, I guess, I don't know. I guess it's a bad comparison because he's trying to kill half of everybody.
Yeah, and I think that's my issue.
Thanos would be like, what if we just killed everyone who has COVID or has been infected with it?
Yeah.
Boom! No one will
But-
ever have COVID again.
Yeah, I mean that's a Thanos-like.
That is a
response,
Thanos
right?
move.
It's like,
If we have
He
this
thinks so.
problem and people have it, then if we destroy everyone who has it,
it's extreme.
then it's just
But
going to an
I
extreme.
think it's like when the solution is as evil as like
The
kind
end.
of the problem. Yeah, the end. Then it's. I think that's why Thanos is the villain because.
Yeah, because like if the
His
solution,
is the very thing he's trying to
Yeah,
prevent.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly, and I think.
Except in his mind, it's a lesser version of it.
Yeah. So he's like, I'm choosing the lesser of two evils, but I think the path forward and why like the heroes that are celebrated are like they're like, okay, we're gonna try to make our end result saving people, like
without
with-
much destruction,
yeah, like
without taking out all of New York
Yeah.
again.
basically they're like they see that as a possibility, but they're like, I'm gonna reject that possibility and find a different path. But Thanos is like, nope, we're doing that.
I mean, it must be so annoying being Thanos thinking that you're like my people on my planet again. You just won't listen to me.
yeah.
Nobody
But-
listens. I'm too great.
But
Like
Thanos in the end, like, is he wrong? Like, because everyone's still alive and still kicking after Thanos.
Well,
they-
I mean, I think it's more of a time thing.
So, like,
Plus, they did kind of build like
1,000 years from there.
not a better,
Maybe
not a bet. They didn't really build a better world, but they built one that was okay for what had happened with them. Like they're still thriving, everything's still kind of working out. They're still having,
Except for those
Uh,
with signs saying
yeah.
Thanos was right.
yeah.
I
That-
mean,
was
something
right
that
to
would have
kill
solved
half
the
the
whole thing was that it was more of a huge mess because everybody. Also, I love it when people bring up what if you're on a plane and you dust away? Do you
What if-
just
yeah,
dust back to where you
9/11.
dusted? Like
9/11.
You're on a
Oh,
boat,
that's-
or you're just in the middle of the
Marvel
boat.
universe anyway.
And
Because
that's a
you get
good
that
question.
that was that one demonstration in Far From Home. Because when they were in marching band or whatever, they came back in there. So does that mean
If you're on a plane, you just materialize in midair, or do you materialize in the plane?
who knows?
wait,
What if the
okay,
plane
wait,
doesn't
no,
exist
wait.
anymore?
What if?
I
Okay,
What if
so
there's a
have
wall where you
wait,
were?
people, please. Okay, what
good
if?
point.
What if?
That's a bummer.
The way that they brought them back was that wherever you were on the earth, not whatever you were inside of, wherever you were, you are there again, and if anything is where you are, you will be moved to the closest place that does not have something there. So that like,
kill you.
because if we didn't have that, then what if someone appeared in the exact same place someone was standing? We'd end up with a horrifying mess of a dense human.
Yeah.
And so that would be, both of
Worst
them
case.
would die.
Yeah.
So bringing them back would be essentially useless if
Thanks a
anyone
lot,
who
Iron Man.
yeah, Iron Man, you killed my mom because she was standing where my brother was standing.
Jeez, that's awful.
I
That's
mean,
I
like-
never thought of that. That's terrible.
I actually I saw a parody. I don't know if you guys know about this YouTube channel, but they do a lot of they answered a lot of these questions with a bunch of kind of funny skits with animation.
I think I know.
Yeah, how it should have ended.
Yeah.
Yeah,
they,
hishy
they
dubs.
they did that. Okay. So they did one with Far From Home, and the bit was
so funny.
like the news kids were talking about it, and they're like, "But thanks to the acts of these mighty heroes, everyone is back." And then the other guy from the first one's like, "Well, everyone who wasn't on a plane," and then it just cuts to some people falling, or on a boat, people falling into the sea, or people in high traffic areas. They don't cut to that one. But the girl's like, okay, I think they get it.
Well,
Oh, you just
there's got-
appear in
with
front of a
half the
plane
people-
that's
Yeah.
going forward.
There had to
Yeah.
have been some people who were like in a car about to be hit by some truck coming
Yeah.
forward. You know, there has to be a situation where like I was just about to die, and then Thanos' snap saved them.
Whoa.
Kinda, yeah.
I mean,
Right?
Yeah,
that
'cause,
had
like-
to have happened.
I mean,
But
sort
then
of
again-
like
must have killed them.
statistically,
I don't know.
yeah. But then they make it back. So
I love how in the movie they address how all the people who disappeared feel as though they time traveled because everyone around them, everyone that they knew that didn't dust, is now 5 years ahead of them.
yeah,
Yeah.
That's
So
how
like I
think
love how they address that as a fact. So it'd be like if you fell asleep without noticing, like you were just doing your normal thing and then you fell asleep and then you woke up and everyone was
5 years
5
later.
years later and you had no
Yeah.
idea where you were and everyone was like, "How are you here? We thought you died." Like
yeah.
I find it funny in that universe.
A
how
coma.
That or
wasn't
it's
it Far
like-
from home, like you can't drink alcohol if you like dust it technically, which is weird.
Oh,
Like that
well,
scene is funny.
Yeah, that's
Like,
funny.
it's kind of funny to think
No,
about.
that
When they were on the
is- there's
plane
so
and Flash
many-
was trying to get a drink,
There's so many complex
but then they were like,
society things you have to
but
figure
then
Because like say his birth certificate says
yeah.
this, he was born here,
Right.
but for 5 years he wasn't existing.
like he
Yeah.
claims
So-
he dusted, but he didn't.
I thought it was the opposite. He did dust.
Did he?
I don't know the whole
But
point.
they
yeah,
don't
yeah,
believe
yeah.
it.
You don't
Yeah.
age while dusted, but
Yeah.
like say your birth certificate, or like I'm like say if I was born in a certain year, I'm not gonna tell you all because I don't know.
Yeah.
Why? But then I dusted,
Privacy.
and then 5 years go by. Right now, if you looked at when I was born, I'd be this age, but really in reality, I'm not. So I'm assuming
yeah,
in
they
their
thought that
sense-
he faked his birth certificate because he looked way younger than he was.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because he was in his physical form younger than he actually was.
Yeah.
Oh wait, technically, you don't age over those 5 years. We see that, but do you mentally age? Can you
Probably
become mature over dusting?
Probably not because nobody has any memory, you know.
yeah, but it's just like that for them.
Yeah, there's like, don't they show it in one? Don't they? Don't they like?
Yeah.
Don't they show the perspective of somebody dusting and coming
I don't
back?
remember what it was, but I
Yeah, it
just
was,
remember someone who just
Oh, was it?
blacks
What's
out.
What's her face
wakes
from
up.
WandaVision?
No, it was Hawkeye. It was from Hawkeye, I think. Yeah.
But also-
the sister.
Yeah, her.
Yeah, the sister. She went to do the rest. She went to do like.
Wait, but no, Hawkeye didn't. I'm saying, have we ever seen the perspective of somebody who has dusted? Sorry, who were just living their life, dusted, and then came back instantly. Didn't we see that?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. We
the-
saw her.
the lady from one-
Yeah, we saw her sister. Yeah, dust, and then come back instantly, and didn't know what was happening. And then we also saw from Hawkeye's perspective when everything happened with his family. So yeah.
Oh, right.
So yeah, like I said, it's like if you suddenly fell asleep but didn't realize, and then you just like basically wake up
Yeah.
and you're in another place.
Yeah, it's
well,
like-
not it. Wait, what if a building was constructed
Yeah, what if
around
a
where?
wall, like,
no,
was
yeah,
there?
no, not a wall. I'm
need a
saying
whole
what,
other-
No,
we need a whole
what if
other,
you
like,
What if the
questions
building you
talking
were
about
inside
this.
over 5 years? Okay, what if the building you were inside over 5 years, they destroyed the building and then they placed something else there, so you end up like it's almost as though you fell asleep in like your house and then you wake up and you're around like you're in an office, or like you're in like a taxi like area.
All right, let's get back to Thanos.
Right.
Yeah, back to
I mean, this
Thanos.
is technically back to Thanos because we did talk about
talking
the
about that-
effects.
we're
We
talking
talk about the
about
effects of it,
Yeah.
We're
which
also talking
technically
about,
still
like,
counts.
How he,
Yeah.
like, is it really
The
killing
mentality
because he
of
can
them.
bring
Yes.
back?
Right.
Because like, is he really killing them in reality? Because they brought them back like really easily.
Yeah.
Well, no, but that's
Well-
like saying if I commit assault and they faint, and then they can save them and they're back to full health, I shouldn't be charged for assault.
I guess.
Yeah.
But you're not
Like-
you're not hurting them in any way in the beginning. You're literally just making them go.
You're killing them.
Yeah, because
You're effectively
No, he-
removing
he
them
killed
from
them.
Maybe in his
existence.
eyes, he's not killing them because I don't know. We still don't even know what happened to them. They just dusted. They just turned
Yeah,
to
we didn't
dust.
really get that much of a backstory with him. We just got him saying that. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I just remember from Infinity War, he was like, this is what happened to my planet, and this is how I see things. And then, like, a bunch of that stuff happened. And then he doesn't really go into depth after that. Like, he doesn't talk about him or, like, anything else for that matter. It's just this one thing. And then, like, everything else.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think you get enough to, at least in the movie, construct, like,
Yeah.
his understanding of what...
His ideology.
His ideology, what he's following.
What about the Densu? I understand that we just like got off the topic of the effects of it, but what would it be like in denser populated areas? Like what would it be like in India? Because in America, when people dust, they're like usually they're not very around many people, or they're either like in school or in a workplace, or like. But in India, you're like right next to each other at all times. There is people everywhere. So like they take bike rides with like 6 people on one bike. So like, what would it be like there? Because almost in America, it seemed like not very many people went away. But in India, it'd be like you could tell half the population disappeared.
Yeah.
What does that have to do with Thanos?
The effects.
Yeah.
I guess.
I
Wow.
want to make a whole video about these questions.
Yes. The
Whatever.
effects of Thanos.
Whatever.
The blip.
And how it makes no sense.
Yeah.
So, okay, so hypothetical.
Yeah.
Trying to
Anyways,
get at philosophy.
yeah. But anyways, I wanna ask, how do we feel this connects to us in our relationship / journey with God? What do you think?
I'm very curious.
Yes.
So I think boiling down the question of Thanos is, do the ends justify the means?
Right.
So here's like whether you force people into things, into their salvation or not. So here's a random church story from like the, I don't know, like 1200s or 1100s. There's this one bishop of the church who, when they were going to like this area where no one was Christian, they were trying to like they like corralled these people through this river, and there was a priest in the river who was, as people went through, was like baptizing them as it was like a forced baptism.
That sounds weird.
Yeah,
Forced
super random.
baptisms, I
Yeah,
hate that.
super random. But there's been people with the philosophy of like, if the end result is so important, like it's worth any means. Like I don't know, maybe that wasn't the best example, but and I think I don't know. I guess like another example, it's a really, Thanos presents a moral question. So like with the United States in World War II, and the dropping the nuke bombs,
Nuke bombs.
yeah,
Nuke
bomb.
Yeah.
In
They
Japan,
didn't really do it for
like-
moral. They did it to establish power.
right? But
Which was dumb.
and it was, but the to like the public, the reasoning is it's ultimately
Revenge,
like
kind of.
it's ultimately going to prevent more lives because it's going to end the war. That was like the public moral reasoning.
Right.
Yeah. So that's like a Thanos like mentality.
That is
The
true.
end justify means like this will the end result will ultimately save lives, even though we're destroying lives in the process. And so I think that's the moral question. Like, does that thinking hold up?
I guess it depends on like
I guess it just depends on the person.
yeah, and like their
Opinion?
perspective on how the situation goes. Because like I said, it could go 50-50. You could see it as a good thing or a bad thing.
I mean, do you think
Yeah, but
five?
how do we think God would see this?
Yeah,
and that's the
exactly.
question. It's like,
Yeah, that's the real question.
Like, does he think 5 lives are worth more than 1?
It's just like that
yeah,
that question that
that
was
train
like
thing?
the train question where
Oh.
like there are 5 people on track and there's one person on splitting off track and there's a train coming you can pull the lever to make it kill the one person and save the 5 people, or you can let it kill the 5 people to save the one person.
Right.
And what do you do?
Yeah.
Right.
And I have heard about people who answered this question with yell out, "There's a train coming," but in the actual way you ask this question, you'll say, "And the train is already too close for them to
Yeah.
get out of the way."
Right.
I mean,
So
plus
you gotta choose.
the main moral of the question is do you think if 5 lives are worth more than 1? That's just the main question.
Yeah.
You're just gonna do some stupid loophole yell out or
Yeah,
whatever.
that's just avoiding
you're just
the question.
avoiding the freaking question.
Yeah, but most people will answer, "Okay, I'll turn the lever so that I can kill the one person, save the 5 people," because if one person dies, then those 5 people can survive. But whenever someone answers that, I always bring up the question, well, what if you were standing on a bridge and there was people, and there was a train track below you, a train was coming, and there were 5 people on the track, and there's a really obese guy standing next to you, would you push him over to stop the train and save the 5 people? Or would you not? Because you can't, it's not the same as the other one, because you are actively causing this death. With pulling the lever, you're not.
You are
the
actively
train-
causing
Yeah,
Well,
you're
no,
just
but
more
you're
removed,
doing
so
the
it
train.
feels like you're more
Yeah.
removed.
Yeah.
In your
But you're
mentality, it
still-
feels
Yeah.
worse to actively push someone over than to flip a lever.
I mean, if you think
It is
about
true.
it, I mean, all it takes is 5 seconds of thinking. I basically just did the same thing. I just flicked the lever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think it is more visceral like that.
Yeah.
Like,
Pushing over somebody instead of flicking a lever.
yeah.
You know?
But
So the question still stands.
But yeah.
I think it's less of a moral and more of your own personal question. If you think more lives are, well, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
More lives are worth more than a single.
I'm just wondering if it's is Thanos justified for his actions? Or is it really a problem with what he did?
I mean, I guess in the Avengers thinking, they probably just thought, well, there are probably other ways there are probably other
There's other
solutions
options.
than just killing half
yeah,
everybody.
I think they would just say, okay, yes, maybe that's a possibility, but we're gonna just take that one off the table because the means are too bad.
What
so
if-
let's find another solution, and we'll die trying to find that other solution.
What if there was okay, so this is from the standpoint of if they made a what if episode, another one, and it'd be what if Thanos changed his mentality instead of killing everyone? What if he made it so that what if he snapped his fingers and anyone with a above average amount of money would that money would disappear and would suddenly appear either in the bank accounts of or right in front of those with a
He could have
lower
done
than
a lot of
average.
other things with
Yeah,
the
there
power
are
he
other
had,
things.
rather than
that
kill
wouldn't
half.
fix anything.
Yes, it
Because
would.
his whole problem is that's not his problem. His problem is that there just won't be enough food to go around. It doesn't matter about money. It's just space and food and all of that.
No,
It's
the thing is, we
overpopulation.
have
But
if we take
we
Earth
take
as
money,
a,
it
but
won't
if we
fix
if
anything.
we take Earth as any standpoint that we can look at it,
There are enough resources.
yeah, there are enough resources. It's all about your personal resources, how much you can give to get food.
I don't think that's true.
Okay, but if we take Earth as a standpoint, the only actually real planet in this scenario, then with actively living people who have a society, then it would make sense if instead of the problem to everyone else, instead of it being active overpopulation, it was just that some people who can be as greedy and as crappy as they want can have all the money they could ever need, and poor people can try really hard and make nothing. So if you take the money from the rich and give it to poor, so that everyone is at an average
boy.
standpoint, then
So that
okay,
your solution is if Thanos just snapped his fingers and communism happened. Just literal communism.
No, well, from
Yes,
that's
you're redistributing wealth. That's just communism.
Socialism.
Oh, sorry,
Communism,
socialism.
yeah.
Communism is the government and stuff, but still,
Yeah.
it's sorry. Let me specify. He'll snap his fingers, and then socialism, poof, redistributed wealth.
No, but the thing is, socialism fails because of greed and corruption. But this would be forced. This is something that has to happen. And how I see it from Thanos, from like how Thanos is as a person, I see it as he would think of it as, I am going to make everyone at an even standing point. Everyone is at the same position from the beginning, and anything that happens after this is their personal fault. That is because of them. It's not because you were born into a poor family, you have money. So that's how I think he would.
I don't think
But
that
you
will
can't
fix
cleanse the greed and corruption. Like, I guarantee you.
What if Thanos just snapped away sin?
I don't think
Like,
he can
no
do that.
sin.
That'd be good.
But,
He
but
essentially
essentially,
becomes
that is.
God
But that's the
when he has
biggest
all five
problem,
stones.
right? Is like even if you redistribute wealth, it does solve problems, but the corruption and selfishness and greed of humanity, like, it would take all but like a minute for people to still try and take advantage over.
I mean, personally, I don't see that the problem. I don't see the problem as the wealth or whatever. I see it as just merely a problem of overpopulation, and there's just not enough. Yeah, that's just really it.
Can you just like create?
I know, that's
more
why I'm
stuff?
saying.
So, yeah,
Can you
yeah,
just
so
be
you're-
like, all right,
there are
there's
other
a
options.
planet there. Cool. Here's like 50 billion pieces of bread or something. Poof. There you go. Problem
Yeah.
solved.
Yeah.
He had other options on the table.
I know.
Yeah.
But
I don't see your
What's
socialism
our
plan really
conclusion
working.
Yeah.
to this? I feel
Alright,
like we
here's
should
some
wrap
thoughts.
this up.
Here's
real
some
quick.
Back to ends
You
justifying.
asked what would ends justifying means. What does God think on that? I think my thought is like, okay, so essentially God has and does have Thanos's
Mentality?
No, problem that he's addressing.
Problem.
Okay, so essentially, God looks and says, okay, there's sinfulness, like they're warring with one another, they're not sharing their food and their wealth, they're screwing up and they're not doing well. What's God's response? And ultimately in Jesus, I think you see God's response is, I'm going to take, like, it's self-sacrifice, right? I'm going to, rather than just like, I'm going to take control, take the reins. Jesus doesn't come as a conqueror, but it's like, I'm going to, like, sacrifice and take it on myself, like, the evil of the world. So I think God's response is, the ends do not justify the means. The ends have to be matched with the means. So I think the other, like, throughout history, like, the other, like, kind of ancient gods that people worship were took, in their stories, they take the path of Thanos, like, in that kind of mentality that justify the means. But what's unique about Christianity and God is that like, God takes the path of self-sacrifice. So, which Thanos is definitely not self-sacrifice. It's sacrifice other people. Right?
Yeah, I get that.
I guess in his mind,
I think
like, if I
that's-
sacrifice myself, I can't do the sacrificing, you know?
Yeah.
What I'm saying?
So I think the ends, at least according to Jesus, the ends do not justify the means.
Right.
Okay.
But nice try, Thanos.
Yeah.
That's
Good
perfect.
attempt.
He
That's-
died, I mean, he died for his cause.
Yeah.
He
I
tried his
think-
very darndest. He tried very hard. We'll give him that.
I think it's okay
He
if
was
we don't find an
prosecuted
answer, because
for
that's
his
really what
crime.
it's about, just trying to find an answer. Even if we don't find
It's
it,
not
it's
the
perfectly
destination.
fine.
It's
We're
the
not-
journey.
Yeah.
Well, I kind of, but I feel like this was kind of just like, we're not trying to find an answer, because there is no real answer to this. It is either opinion or belief.
Right.
So what this is showing information and stating facts to give people the chance to make their own opinion.
So you
Right.
decide, was Thanos
Yeah.
right or wrong?
And we learned in the end that Endgame was worse than Infinity War. The end.
And we don't talk about it too.
Immortal.
Thank
Oh, no,
you.
Eternal. Sorry.
Thank you all for joining us. Tune in next month for the next episode.
Whatever that's about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is monthly.